Toph and Bumi are some of the most powerful characters in the Avatar franchise. Because they're both so powerful, this often raises the question, which one is the more powerful earthbender? Funnily enough, this was a question the characters themselves actually asked each other in a canon Avatar comic. In this video, I'm going to explain how that fight went down. First, the time and setting of this scene. It takes place in the middle of the 4-part series finale, and it's at the Order of the White Lotus's camp. Suki and Sokka were talking with Bumi, and when mentioning how Bumi took back Omashi from the Fire Nation all on his own, she said he was the greatest earthbender of all time, and Bumi said, "That's right." As they said this though, Toph was walking by and overheard this, and she of course questioned Suki on this statement. When Bumi repeated what Suki said, saying he was the greatest earthbender of all time, Toph at first looked annoyed, but she then burst out laughing. Bumi did not take kindly to this mockery, and Toph then said one of the funniest lines she's ever had. "No offense, Pops, but just because you're as old as dirt doesn't mean you know how to bend it." Bumi then came back with what might be one of his best lines in the series as well. "Little girl, I have toenails that can earthbend better than you." The two then got in each other's faces, and Sokka being Sokka escalated the situation, saying there was only one way to find out who was better, an earthbending rumble. They went to a canyon below the camp, which is the perfect earthbending battle arena if you ask me. Sokka both refereed and announced the fight, saying, "I want a nice, messy, rock-filled fight." And in the west corner of the canyon, we have Bumi, aka the mad earthbending genius, aka the over-the-hill hitter. In the east corner, we have Toph, aka the blind bandit, aka the runaway self-proclaimed greatest earthbender of all time. These nicknames are great because they all tie back into previous Avatar episodes. His nickname, the Mad Genius, comes from what Aang called him in a flashback to their childhood together. And for Toph, the Blind Bandit was of course her name when she was fighting in the underground earthbending tournaments. Then the Runaway was the name she got on the wanted posters for hustling people in the Fire Nation. And as for the self-proclaimed greatest earthbender in the world, this was the line she said about herself after she discovered metal bending. Sokka hit the gong to start the fight, and hilariously, neither of them made a move. When Sokka looked at them both, Bumi said that young people go first, while Toph said she wouldn't dream of being disrespectful to her elders. With the push from Sokka though, the battle commenced. They both took huge rocks out of the ground, and they pushed forward, meeting in the middle. Sokka then added a third job to his refereeing and announcing as he cheered both of them on. When Suki asked him who he was cheering for, Sokka said he had to be impartial as the referee, then continued to be both of their cheerleaders. Bumi made the ground beneath Toph rise into the air, but she jumped over it just in time. All of this noise made Katara come down to the canyon, and she demanded to know what was going on. When Sokka said it was a fight to decide who the ultimate earthbender was, Katara screamed at her brother, saying, "You're letting them battle each other? What if they get hurt? You realize we're about to face the Fire Nation, and the fate of the world rests in our hands." This made Sokka start sweating, but the fight raged on. Toph had heard what Katara said, and as she hurled some rocks at Bumi, who blocked it with a rock shield he took out of the ground, Toph assured Katara that she wouldn't hurt him. She just had to test to make sure the old guy could actually survive a fight with those firebenders. Bumi then added that he was making sure the little girl wouldn't get burned too much. Toph then caused what Sokka called a rock-avalanche, making rocks from the canyon fall on Bumi, but Bumi created a rock shield which he lifted over his head to block the rock-avalanche. Them taking pieces out of the canyon caused the mountain above them to crack in multiple places, which was where their camp was. The other old masters plus Zuko were thrown in the air, their tables were knocked over, and they ran to see where this was coming from. They thought they were under attack for a moment, but when Zhang asked where the kids were, Zuko realized it was probably Team Avatar causing this disturbance, and he ran after them. They all went down to the canyon, and they saw Bumi flying through the air sending rocks at Toph, which he sent by earthbending with his feet. Zuko told them to explain themselves, and Sokka hilariously did not pick up on Zuko's frustration as he said, "It's the ultimate earthbending showdown. 2 opposing styles, 2 opposing age groups, 1 winner." Zuko facepalmed as he was in disbelief, while Iroh cheered on his fellow White Lotus member. "Go Bumi, old people represent." The other White Lotus members were not as pleased though. As rocks flew astray and hit the canyon wall beside them, they said that this was not a good idea as it would give away their location when they were supposed to be hiding. Sokka said they had a point and he tried to put a stop to the fight. However, Toph and Bumi were both riding on a rock board, almost like they were surfing on earth instead of water, and as they got closer to one another, they both hurled a number of rocks, some of which were enormous. There was so much crashing and banging that they did not hear the bell stopping the fight. The old masters then said they had to put a stop to the fight bending style. Themselves, Zuko, and Katara all ran in. Zuko grabbed Toph's arm, Iroh blocked Bumi's rocks aimed at Toph with his firebending, and Piandao blocked a few rocks with his sword. Meanwhile, Bumi, who was up on a rock tower he had created, was hit with Katara and Pakku's waterbending as well as Zhang Zhang's firebending. Together, the 6 of them put a stop to the fight before there was a winner. As they walked back up, Suki asked Sokka who won, and Sokka, being the referee, said it was a draw. Behind them, Zuko told both Toph and Bumi that they needed to start acting their own age, which was a clever line from the writers as they were both young and old. As they kept walking, Sokka said they would have to have a rematch later, which made Toph say, "Sweet," and made Bumi laugh and do his classic snort. Meanwhile, Katara facepalmed while Zuko watched on in disbelief. Unfortunately, there was never a rematch, but I'm curious to see who you guys think would have won that fight. Let me know in the comments below, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Would it be the Mad Genius, or would it be the Blind Bandit? Thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. You can follow me on Instagram to see more of my personal life, like my cute dog Loki, and some behind the scenes movie flame stuff. I also do similar content on TikTok and Twitter that I do here on this channel, so if you like what I do here, check them out. All the handles are right below me, and links are in the description. Over here are my wonderful patrons. If you want to be featured on the next video, plus get a few other perks, become a patron today. As always, if you liked the video, hit that like button and subscribe, and look out for more great movie flame videos on the way.